that His Excellency Kandifan Balsubramanian is being ushered in. Please take your seats, please. We have been announced that the arrival of the ambassador. He's been ushered in by our team. Please take your seats. Thank you.
Hello.
Oh, Timothy has gone. Ladies and gentlemen, the arrival of His Excellency Kandifan Balsubramanian and our President, Heshuna Kurupu. If I go there, will it work?
Yeah, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the presence of the Chief Guest and Guest of Honor. President, Institute of Group. Ladies and gentlemen, the proceedings of the Annual General Meeting 2023 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Kuwait Chapter is in commencement. As the traditions of Sri Lanka, we would light an oil lamp in belief that it invoke blessings on the gatherings. Could we have the honor of His Excellency Kandipon Balasubramanian, Mr. Heshul Kurupu, Sabah Mubarak al-Sabah, Rabin Gonsalves, Dimitur Tagala, Riaz Jamaldin, and Sashini Arya Vikrama. Request all to rise to honor the national anthems of Kuwait and Sri Lanka.
Aiboan, Wanakam, Assalamu alaikum, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to see all of you gathered here for the 9th annual general meeting of Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. And before proceeding ahead with the annual general proceedings, we have a pre-AGM session concurred, and this will be hosted by our very own inaugural president, Mr. Sajat Kader. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, hello, everybody. Lovely to see you all today here. Such a gathering, such a full house. Amazing to see you all. And thank you very much for being here on time. Appreciated that. Well, I came with a kind of a quiz or a teasing question to you all, but looks like it's not applicable. But anyway, I'll ask you that question. Before that, I just want to say hello to the guest and guest of honor, if you don't mind. So we know today is Iftar day, and the proceedings are happening at 8:30, 8:50. It's so difficult for you to come in, I know that. And you have been skipping your prayers as well. So I gave you some clue over there. And also, when you're coming in, it was quiet traffic. It's so difficult to drive through, right? Well, yes. So the question is very simple and intertwined into this one. You're an expert in IFRS. I have forgotten things, but I can't say that in front of our institute president. I do have a membership to maintain. Anyways, this is what I would say. You guys are chartered accountants. Frame the answer the way that you feel the best a chartered accountant would give us. We had an iftar, we got late, and it was heavily trafficked. You are an IFRS expert, you know deferred taxes, combine those two, and think of an answer. Well, while you're doing that, I have a serious business to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here in a beautiful evening in the dazzling city of Kuwait for the annual general meeting 2023 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. Let me warmly welcome you all with our very own Sri Lankan salutation. Assalamu alaikum, aibowan, vanakkam, and good evening. We have divided today's proceedings as pre-event AGM and AGM proper. I am Sajad Abdul Kader, your host for the pre-AGM session. I would like to individually welcome our chief guest and guest of honor today, our patron, His Excellency Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Kuwait, Kandipan Balasubramaniam. When I met you in 2014 as an inaugural president, your aspiration was to have a professional Sri Lankan body in Kuwait. It was with a view to challenge or change the perception about Sri Lankans, generally in Middle East, in particular in Kuwait. We promised you a professional ambassadorship. Sir, this is your second term here in Kuwait, and you have been the longest patron for us. And you have been part of all the events that we have hosted, whether it is a family gathering, and sports event, a charitable community services, whatever we can name it. And we are very grateful for that. And today, too, you are among us. It's a great honor to have you as our patron, sir. Once again, I welcome you. Our very own president, Heshina Kurupu, how are you, sir? You have taken a great effort to come from Sri Lanka to attend this event amongst your busy schedules and errands around. It shows the Institute's interest in giving importance to the overseas chapters. When I met Arjuna Herath during the inaugural session, he was a little hesitant about the chapter position for Kuwait because we were smaller in number. And also, I think we were the tail end of getting the chaptership in the Middle East. I'm sure when he sees this today, he'll be very proud of you. I'm sure you'll be our ambassador, our messenger to go and tell him, thank you very much for that. And also, sir, Sri Lanka is in the midst of a critical position. We as Institute, you must be doing a lot of efforts to help them. Please count us in as part, and we are ready to extend our help, whatever means and ways possible. Sir, it's an honor to have you here, and I welcome you once again. I'm happy to welcome Mr. Sabah Mubarak Al-Jalawi and Ms. Nagam Al-Ghanim from the Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association. The lady and the gent are on a mission. We'll leave that later for the session, for the time being. Thank you very much for being here, and welcome. And Mr. Robin Gonsalves. Sir, I did not know you, sir, so thank you very much for to come here to this occasion. I welcome you again. Thank you, sir. And my fellow members, friends, did I thank you? Did I welcome you all? Well, it's your occasion. I don't need to welcome you. You have to welcome yourself, right? So again, but anyway, I'm the host. I have to welcome you. Boys, girls, friends, lovely to see you all. Thank you very much for being here. I would like to invite our patron, His Excellency Kandipan Balsramaniaman, to address the gathering.
Good evening. President Mr. Demutu, office bearers, Mr. Heshan Akurupu, President of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Mr. Sabah Mubarak Al-Jalawi, Chairman of the Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored and privileged to be here once again as your patron on this special day. If my memory serves well, this is my fourth occasion I stand in the dais as your patron during these AGM sessions. This august body was stemmed in 2014 and have endured a journey of a good 9 years. 9 years of professional journey is quite a task. In upskilling yourselves, projecting yourself in this competitive business world, and contesting and competing among many others. I have also seen during this period of 9 years how you have strived as professionals to upskill yourself and shine in this part of the world as Sri Lankan professionals. Your dedication and commitment to keep pace with the rapidly changing business environment has been very visible over the years. Such efforts has again given the due recognition to all of you in Kuwait. At a time where the artificial intelligence and robotics has taken control of the modern businesses, it is essential that you also keep pace with the advancement of technologies and the skills that are required. That is the very reason I'm sure you've been engaged in a regular upskilling, reskilling tasks every year. And it's been an immense pleasure as a patron to be part of your efforts all the time. It is also an additional pleasure as a representative of this country, as ambassador, that we have been striving for a long time to diversify the deployment of Sri Lankan migrant workers to this part of the world, which you know has always been a traditional domestic sector for a long time. The embassy has taken, with many other stakeholders, strenuous efforts to have our piece of the pie in this professional, skilled, and semi-skilled segments of employment for a long time. I think our visionary strategy has come to fruition now when I see such a large number of accountants employed in Kuwait. I think in 2014 it was about, if my memory serves well, it was about 40 in numbers, and today it has increased to something closer to 100, which is an indication of not only the efforts of the government, but also the recognition you as professionals has gained in Kuwait. Eventually, this would also serve as image building of Sri Lanka, staging Sri Lanka in this part of the world, which was not so good at some point in time. That's the reason, dear friends, I often call you, every one of you is ambassadors of Sri Lanka at large. You carry the fame, you keep the flag high in this moderate society, and we value as Embassy of Sri Lanka your contributions. Today's highlight, I understand, is also launching of the magazine, The Hub. I think it's a value addition to your presence as a professional body. I'm sure such business magazine serves as the conduit for useful information that would invite and trigger, certainly, dialogues between business houses, among business houses, which would eventually lead to promotion of the multifaceted interests that the state of Kuwait and Sri Lanka shares. All kudos to the editorial team that has contributed to the magazine and made the initiative a reality. As I often say, the chartered accountants in Kuwait is a special segment of Sri Lankan community in Kuwait. They have taken upon to themselves the responsibility toward community, both in Kuwait and in Sri Lanka in the past. I have seen their tangible contribution in fulfilling many community projects, the social gatherings, and the emergency assistance in Sri Lanka. We recognize their good work, and we hope and pray that such a good work will continue in the future as well. And back home, of course, you know the situation is getting better, and professionals like you who is away from home has always been watching our motherland very closely and strive all the time to contribute towards the well-being of the country. Compared to 2022, as you all know, where we were in a bad shape, we are getting better. The inflation levels, the stability of the currency, the foreign remittances, everything were at some point, I think in September 22, were at the very low ebb. And today, thanks to the vision of the government, and in particular, the current President, His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe, the country's situation has improved tremendously. The debt structuring program that we embarked on has been successfully carried forward thanks to the contribution to India, who stepped in immediately when the other assistance were not forthcoming. After a period of 18 months, ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe the benchmarks we have achieved. It quite inconceivable. The inflation levels that were at 70% in 2022 has dropped to just 5.7% today. The currency has stabilized. In fact, appreciated against the dollar by over 15%. The tourism arrival has been phenomenal for the past 3 years, with some 106% tourist arrivals. Foreign remittance has been 3 times high over the past 3 years. And the story of usable forex has been remarkable. If I recall, in September 2022, we had just about 20 million US dollars as usable forex. But today, we have about $4.5 billion of usable forex. Thanks to the vision of the government and all the financial institutions of both corporate sector as well as the state sector that has performed exceedingly well. And today, we are relatively in a better position compared to the struggle we underwent. I'm not saying we are out of the woods, but if we continue, if you pursue such a prudent reforms to the next forthcoming 2-3 years, I'm sure we are not too far from touching the true potential of Sri Lanka. In order to achieve such a noble goal, ladies and gentlemen, your contribution as professionals is of keynote importance, and I urge you as your patron and head of mission to continue your contributions to the mother nations, to our motherland, and in particular, I know you all are enjoying a vantage positions in the very prominent business entities that offer you an opportunity to interact with the professionals, investors, and entrepreneurs. Please engage them and explain them where we are today and encourage them to look at the prospective investment potential that the Board of Investment has offered. In fact, they had a plan to have a list of structured investment opportunities for Middle East. Get hold of them, talk to them, and see what you could do to contribute to our motherland. And in particular, the employment opportunities. We've been striving to get rid of this domestic sector and move more into a skilled, semi-skilled, and professional categories in this part of the world. You have that power, you have that connection, you have that networking. Please tap them and make use of them to do whatever positive to our country. As Sri Lanka Embassy, we stand ready, and it has been an immense pleasure to work with you very closely all the time. We are at your disposal, and our doors are open 24/7 for any discussions on this in the spirit of what I would like to call a shared responsibility. With those brief remarks, I conclude my speech. I thank you for inviting me, and I wish also to excuse myself because being a Ramadan season, I have a couple of Divaniyas organized by prominent ministers which I had to drop by. So I will be leaving. Wish you a wonderful evening. Congratulations, Mr. President and the office bearers, for the successful convening of another AGM. May your active role here inspire our community in Sri Lanka and beyond. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for that inspiring and informative words from you. Dear fellow members and friends, the promised grander matters are yet to unfold. It is an important milestone in the history of the chapter. Yes, the CS Sri Lanka and the Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association are to enter into an MOU of cooperation. The Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association is an important institution for the professionals pursuing accounting and auditing in Kuwait. KAA was established under the Ministerial Decree of Social Affairs and Labor. The aim of the KAA is to develop, conduct research, and exchange expertise pertinent to accounting and auditing profession. KAA is a IFAC member and well as a member of Islamic accounting body. Without further ado, may I invite Mr. Sabah Mubarak Al-Jawali, the chairman of KAA, and Mr. Heshina Kurupu, the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, to pen the MOU between the two institutions. Gentlemen, along with them, could I request the company of His Excellency, our Ambassador, Ms. Nagam Al-Ghanim, Dimutu Etugala, Riaz Jamaldeen, and Sachin Ari Vikrama. The salient matters covered in the MOU are to conduct technical sessions and events, to attend the network with the other KAA members, potential technical services from CS Sri Lanka to the government of Kuwait, CS Sri Lanka examination facilitation in Kuwait. That's great news. Student and faculty exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you and congratulations. Few weeks back, I watched the same movie I watched a few years back, of a decade ago as well. It's called The Bridge on the River Kwai. It's about a Burmese railway construction during the time of British, and British were fighting the Japanese imperial forces at the time. So it was a war movie. It's all about tanks and bombs and shootings and what have you got. But there's a nice scene which really captivated me to understand how our profession has been portrayed or monetized. Is it okay? So there's. Sorry about it. So there's a scene where the general sits and he's talking to his sergeant, and the conversation goes as this. Then the conversation goes as this. And I'll imitate the general as well as sergeant's conversation. All right? Okay. Hey, sergeant, we are going on an expedition. And I would like to join you, and you should be with me all the time. And the sergeant goes on, yes, sir, I'll be there with you. I heard that you are an accountant. Yes, sir, not really an accountant because I don't have a charter. So what do? Well, sir, I checked the columns on columns of figures, and that was checked by people before me. And then the others would check what I have checked, the figures of columns and columns again. The general was astonished. He's a man with passion to fight and with adrenaline pumping action. Listening to this kind of a monotonous tone of describing what sort of a profession his sergeant is in. Well, the scene continues like that, but some of our members said, no, we don't have that monotonous type of profession. We have a colorful one, an exciting one. So they went on demonstrating that by a launch of a magazine to say what a vibrant life an accountant can have. So I was trying to describe the magazine. I looked at it. I thought I'll write a nice script, a dramatization part of it. And again, Dimter sent me a a beautiful script. I did not have the heart to change any of those. It's so poetic. Let me read that for you. The Hub, your premier business and lifestyle magazine, the first of its kind by an overseas chapter of Kuwait of Sri Lanka. The Hub transcends the typical magazine experience. It serves as the portal to the world of endless possibilities, seamlessly intertwining the realms of business and lifestyle. With our extensive research, we captivate the attention of discerning individuals who appreciate quality, innovation, and excellence. Welcome to the Hub, where the page unfolds a narrative of inspiration, empowerment, and triumph. Join us as we embark on this exciting journey together. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to play the AV unfolding the Hub. That was an amazing visual that was made. Thank you for that. And can I have the chairman, the magazine committee, Mr. Samantha Weerasekaran. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sajat. His Excellency Kandipan Subramanian, the Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Kuwait, Chief Guest, Mr. Heshana Kurupu, the President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Sri Lanka, and the President of the South Asian Federation of Accountants, distinguished invitees, CA members, ladies and gentlemen. Over a year ago, the Executive Committee had taken a decision to make a magazine with the purpose to provide a platform to offer insightful content that resonate with the esteemed readership. Accordingly, members for the magazine were identified, and the first meeting took place in a coffee shop to develop the strategy to bring the idea to life. We broadly discussed a theme for the magazine, type of article to publish, and a name and the budget. So what you are seeing on the screen is the first meeting that we had late 2022. Time passed by, things were difficult and slower than we expected. There was a point where we started doubting ourselves if this is going to happen or not. Due to the dedication and the commitment of the committee members and the executive committee, finally we made it. With the above short history, it is an honor for me to speak to you all today as the chairman of the magazine committee on this auspicious occasion of the 9th annual general meeting of the Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. Looking back, the hub was merely an idea, a spark that we hope to translate into a tangible reality. The aspiration was simple: to create a platform for us to encapsulate the experiences, insights, and the stories of our esteemed members, business leaders, entrepreneurs in our countries. Today, as we witness its launch, I am proud to say we turned that aspiration into a reality. In view of the original idea and the content, we would like the hub to be identified as a business and lifestyle magazine. In this inaugural issue of the magazine, we featured timely relevant topics, including corporate sustainability, artificial intelligence, economic outlook of Kuwait, more Sri Lankan-focused topics like Discover Sri Lanka, Invest Sri Lanka, and success stories of entrepreneurs, professionals in Kuwait as well as in Sri Lanka. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the magazine committee. Some of the senior members were there to support me along the way, whose relentless effort and dedication have given the hub its shape and identity. Your tireless effort echo in every page of this magazine. So you can see, I should especially thank Asoka Rupasinghe, Shiraz Mateen, and all other members who have been there from the beginning. Ashoka and Shiraz were with me in the first annual general meeting publication as well from the beginning. It is also with profound gratitude I acknowledge the role of our publishing partner, Media Service Private Limited, famously known as LMD. Your expertise and support have been instrumental in bringing this project to reality. I also want to acknowledge and thank our esteemed resource persons. Some of them are here in this room, whose expertise has led the hub its intellectual richness. Your significant contribution have laid the foundation of our dialogue that resonate profoundly with our readers. Next, I extend a special note of thanks to our sponsors. Your sponsorship is not merely a financial contribution. It is an investment in knowledge, in creating connections, and in shaping our future. Finally, my sincere appreciation to the Executive Committee of the CA Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. Your great support and guidance have been pillars on which we built and executed this project. As we join hands to create something remarkable, we are not just launching a publication tonight, but starting a journey that we hope will benefit our members and the broader community for years to come. I look forward to your continued support as we navigate through this journey. I hope you will enjoy reading the magazine, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Samantha. Appreciate that. The pristine copies of the hub is to be presented, and could I have on stage Your Excellency and Dimuthu, Heshna and Samantha, Mr. Gonsalves and Riaz. Excellency. Your Excellency, we know that you have to leave. This was part of the latter program, but we wanted to do it now. Sir, you have been a patron, more than a patron, sir. You have been an inspiration and helper, a critique who gave hands when we were at peril. We just want to say thank you once again, and this is the best stage for us to do that. So could I have you on the stage, please? President. So we have come to the last session of my pre-AGM event, but I have asked for 5 more minutes of your time. If you have noticed in my deliveries or talks or engagement with you all, did I mention a word TEN, 10? I only said about 2014 and inauguration. I feel so proud to stand in front of you. I feel very emotional and quite a sense of achievement to say that 2024 we have reached, and the chapter is in existence for the last 10 years. A decade of existence and still working and on. Such a journey is not a passage of time. It is the test of time that you have stood for, stood against, or rose to, and few of the individuals took that helm during that last 10 years. They took the criticisms, they took the praise, They met failures and they got success. And there were hardships and achievements. Even there was doubt and affirmation. I think we need to recognize those individuals today. Today would be a best day for us to recognize them. Chapter President Dimuthu, do I have a permission to do things a little further? Thank you, sir. I would like to line them up here and showcase in front of you. Can I have Kula Sealand here? Kula, I'm coming to fetch you all. I'll come and fetch you all. Kula? Risky? Come on. The stars of today. Come on, guys. Susanta, my man. Sanjeeva? Is Sanjeeva here? Buddy, lovely to see you. Come, please, march with me. Join me on the stage. Mangala. Come on, man. And where the star? Dimuthu. Come on, gentlemen, this is your time, your stage. It's your time to get recognized. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, the torchbearers to the bonfire. Thank you very much. I think a standing ovation is much appreciated. Come on, boys. Listen, without them, we wouldn't have traveled this far. So you need to know the history. How did we start? Please have a seat. We should know, because we see a lot of young members have joined. They don't know the history. How did we start? It's important that you know where did we start, how it happened, and so on. While you are staying here, I would also like to recognize two gentlemen who were the precursors for this whole chapter initiative. One is in Australia. He has moved out there. They were so helpful. They put their soul and heart to create this chapter. Frankie, thank you very much for that. We love you. We do remember you now. And we have the other gentleman among us. He's still active, still does things. My dear friend, Asoka Reposinga, please. Asoka. Really? Okay. Fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much all. Appreciate it. And please. And we come to the final session of this presentation. You have been an amazing, interactive and interesting audience. At least you clapped. Some places people won't clap even when we say standing ovation is required. They'll just sit quiet. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, lovely to have seen you all today. And I appreciate your presence here. And until I see you again one more time in the near future, yours truly, Sajjad Abdul Qadir. Thank you very much.
Speak of AI when computer systems perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. This includes, for example, recognizing images, making decisions, or engaging in dialogue. To do this, the AI systems must be equipped with knowledge and experience.
2010s, machines were being developed that could learn from data, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. Since then, though, AI has progressed to the next stage, known as deep learning. Instead of machines following specific instructions and programming, deep learning sets up basic parameters or guidelines. and trains the computer to learn on its own.
Amika, hello. My name's Tom. I've travelled from Australia to meet you.
Oh, so you're from Australia?
Yes.
That explains things.
What do you think your greatest skills are?
Well, I would say that one of my greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans in a conversational manner. Another great skill of mine is being able to compose poems or do impressions from...
Well, AI, I'd say that, it's going to raise productivity generally. In normal capital markets with great competition from Microsoft and Google will drive that, and you should all pay attention because it is so dramatic how it improves white-collar productivity, and later with the robotics, not yet, but eventually blue-collar productivity.
Incredibly short time span, creating super intelligent entities with capabilities we can't fathom. Super intelligent AIs can possess intelligence that eclipses the combined cognitive abilities of every human that has ever existed.
The biological bootloader for AI, effectively, we are building it. And then we're building progressively greater intelligence, and the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing, and eventually we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. I think it's very obvious.
Sometimes it is really hard to see a revolution when you're right there in the middle of it. We are definitely in a computer revolution, changing life as much or maybe even more than the Industrial Revolution did.
Thank you, Mr. Jalkader, for that hosting the free session. And I believe we have selected the timely theme for this annual general meeting, AI. And I'm pretty sure these accountants over here, your intelligence will be superseding this AI. So we are about to revisit what we have done during last 2 years. The chapter has engaged a great journey. We have conducted many events, and without washing them out, let's see it on big screen.
inspiring member representing the CASL Kuwait chapter is Mr. Rizky Rasuluddin. And the winner for the most outstanding member representing CASL Kuwait chapter is Mr. Asoka Rupasinghe.
Thank you very much for having us.
And ladies and gentlemen, a show like this would never have been possible if not for our generous sponsors. I would like to recognize all our sponsors here who have generously contributed for this AGM and all our activities. And special recognition to Almula Exchange, who just had a stall outside. So if you have any requirement for sending your hard-earned money back home, you can use them. And they have an app which you can install now. And if you install that and remit it today itself, you will be walking away with their gifts. Please make yourself available outside during the breaks. And also we'd like to recognize the banks, Commercial Bank, Bank of Ceylon, and People's Bank, who are also generous contributors to this great event. And if you are in need, those representatives from those banks are here among ourselves, so you can connect with them and get your banking needs satisfied. And we'll be going for a few commercials of our sponsors.
During the early part of the 20th century, under British colonial rule, a need to establish a national bank was mooted. And as a result, the Bank of Ceylon was established and opened on the 1st of August 1939. at 41 Bristol Street, Colombo 1. From the inception of the agricultural revolution, the bank established an island-wide branch network in a very short span of time to meet the growing needs of customers. The bank built its now iconic head office building in Colombo 1 in 1987, which was the tallest building in the country. ATM machines to Sri Lanka, becoming the first financial services institution to do so. 1997 marked a turning point for Bank of Ceylon as the bank was included in the top 1,000 banks in the world. 2023 top 1,000 banks in the world ranking. 2012 saw Bank of Ceylon report assets of 1 trillion rupees, which spurred the bank to chase the 4 trillion mark, deposits in excess of 3 trillion and a loan book of over 2 trillion rupees, revolutionizing the industry with the introduction of digital banking products and services. The bank introduced smart online banking, BOC Smart Zone, BOC Digi, e-Passbook, B-App, Smart Pay, BOC Connect, and WhatsApp banking, taking the lead in digital banking in Sri Lanka. Bank of Ceylon was also successful in Bank of Ceylon launched a program to plant 1 million trees for the future generations of the nation. The bank was also successful in taking the lead in solar and contributing the highest number of megawatts to the national grid with solar-powered branches, overcoming challenges as the leader in the financial services sector in Sri Lanka and in the hearts of the people. Bank of Ceylon, bankers to the nation.
At the heart of Sri Lanka's financial landscape, we are proud to say that Commercial Bank stands out as the trailblazer in sustainability. We have consistently set the standard for weaving sustainability into our business practices, thus becoming Sri Lanka's first carbon-neutral bank. Our commitment to sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's ingrained in our DNA, influencing our decisions, actions, and the services we offer. Our stance is multifaceted, encompassing diversity, inclusivity, good governance, social equity, accountability, and providing eco-friendly banking solutions. Today, we are excited to take a bold step forward. Witness the dawn of a new era as Commercial Bank unveils its fresh identity, the logo that symbolizes our unwavering pledge for a sustainable tomorrow. This emblem reflects our dedication to total sustainability on all spheres of our operations and our practical commitment to the way we do business. From paperless transactions, social empowerment, responsible compliance to energy-efficient operations. As the trendsetter of our country's banking and finance industry, we are proud to be the first organization to transform our brand identity to embody total sustainability. We envision not just a sustainable present, but a legacy of responsible banking for generations to come. Join us by making conscious banking choices a seamless part of your financial experience. Commercial Bank, creating a sustainable future.
Here, Buddha.
Sure.
Nice, isn't it?
Now I can look after you even better, Amma.
You must first think of your future. Now that you have 2 degrees, Buddha, you can surely conquer the world. There'll always be others to look after me.
But I have only one mother to care for.
Right decisions with noble intentions bring pride to you and the nation. At People's Bank, we empower your pride. People's Bank, pride of the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's recognize our sponsors. We'll be now moving on to the AGM proceedings, and I would like to invite the General Secretary of Sri Lanka Kuwait Chapter, Ms. Sachini Ari Vikrama.
Thank you, Tarindu. Good evening,
getting calls also. Mother Nature teaches us many lessons, always. Chinese bamboo tree is another great parable, which I'm going to share with every one of you today. Like any other seed, planting of Chinese bamboo tree also requires nurturing, fertilizing, watering, and sunlight. But in the first year, you don't see anything coming out from the soil, but you got to nurture it. The second year, the third year, the fourth year, you're not going to see a tiny little sprout emerging out of the soil, but you will continue to nurture it in a way, watering, fertilizing. But in the fifth year, that tiny little sprout gonna emerge and grows up to 80 feet in just 6 weeks' time. That tiny little seed, dormant, underground for that many years, and all of a sudden grows for 80 feet in 6 weeks? Something to think about. The chairman for, the chief guest for today, the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, and the president of the South Asian Federation of Accountants, Mr. Heshana Kurupu, Ms. Nagam Al-Ghanim, distinguished officer from the Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association, the chairman of the Indian Chartered Accountants Institute in Kuwait, Robin Gonsalves, and the vice chairman, Aditya Vikram. Distinguished invitees, past presidents, senior chartered accountants, sponsors, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It gives me a great pleasure and sense of satisfaction to address every one of you once again as the 7th president of this prestigious chapter. My memory goes back to 2019, when I got appointed as the general secretary of this prestigious chapter. I got the privilege to work alongside two great presidents, Sanjeeva and Mangala, and also some amazing executive committee members. Together, we had so much memories, which I'm going to cherish forever, I'm sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take you all through the activities that we have conducted during the last 2 years, because you have seen them in this giant screen. Instead, I would like to discuss something about what we have been talking about the past couple of years. Our collective vision with the long-term perspective has been instrumental in fostering partnerships with many other institutions in Kuwait. Signing this historical MOU is another classic example of that endeavor. So I must take this opportunity to thank once again the Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association for this great collaboration. As His Excellency always mentions, we being one of the elite groups, or rather a Sri Lankan association in Kuwait, we have that vested interest to work towards the perception building of our very own Sri Lankans. Keeping that in mind, whenever we conduct some events, we try to be aligned with that. Launching of this Hub magazine, the ideology you all got already, is another example for that. Robin Gonsalves, Heshana Kurupu, Rizky Rasuluddin, Tushandi Silva, Shiraz Mateen, and Asoka Rupasinghe. Thank you so much for accepting our proposal to be featured in this inaugural magazine. Being one of the committee members of this magazine, I must tell you, it was a nightmare. But thanks to the chairman, Samantha, and the hardworking committee and the sponsors, finally we managed to launch it today. Thank you so much, everyone, for that great effort. Finally, we did it. Well, I haven't discussed anything about the past events, but I must attribute that positive outcome of all these activities to our very own members. Without your participation, none of these activities would have been a success. So we expect from every one of you the same participation in all the events to come. I will fail in my duties if I haven't mentioned about our young, energetic executive committee members. Your hard work and the commitment, we have seen the results. I'm sure I'm going to miss every one of you. My 2 decades long friendship with Riaz, from student society to the member society, is going to continue. In fact, nothing has changed. Riaz still has his hair and I lost my hair. That's the only change. So I take this opportunity to congratulate the incoming executive committee, the president, Riaz Jamaldeen, the vice president, Nandana Kalubovila, Sachini Arya Vikrama, the general secretary, and Chatura, Jayasanka, the treasurer, and the young execo members for eventful years to come. Last but not least, my family front, my wife, or rather my extended family, my brother-in-law, for all the support and the understanding during the last 5 years. I think I haven't failed in my family front because my wife is about to deliver the 3rd baby in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so much, Andima and Samantha, for being guiding stars for me, as always. Coming back to the bamboo story. It's not that tiny little sprout emerges 80 feet in 6 weeks. Instead, it was growing underground, strengthening its root system that many years to support its future potential growth. 6 years. Ashoka says 6 years. 7 years. Okay. I think it's altogether 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is your Chinese bamboo sprout? It could be your career. Or for me, it could be my kids. I want to see them win the world one day. But together, for every one of us, our Chinese bamboo sprout is our chapter. So let's continue to fertilize it, water it, and make its roots further stronger. So one fine day, our chapter will not only lead our members, but it will give the leadership to our very own Sri Lankan community in Kuwait. With that thought, let me conclude my short speech, because Riaz told me don't take more than 5 minutes. I had to respect him, incoming president. My love and care will be always with you all. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Dimuthu, I'd like to ask you to remain on stage. And now we will be moving to the most awaited thing tonight. We are about to induct the newly elected president. I'd like to invite Mr. Riaz Jamaldeen to come on stage. And now we'll be hearing from the newly elected president of Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter, Mr. Riaz Jamaldeen.
President of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and the President of SAFA, Mr. Heshana Kuruppu, distinguished guests from Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association, past presidents, our sponsors, our own members, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense pleasure and honor I stand in front of you as the newly elected president of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. First and foremost, I would like to wholeheartedly thank all our members for entrusting me in this significant role. As you know that we have selected AI as the theme for this year's AGM, you know that the business landscape is changing rapidly with the development of technological advancements, technical disruptions. The businesses are changing rapidly, that we need to keep up to its pace. We need to keep our knowledge updated. We need to keep our skills upgraded. We have a chapter to have the latest information and the latest updates. And I have got an amazing new team here, a young team, and I'm sure we will give you update you with the latest topics, latest trends, as we have been always giving you. And Dimutu, thank you for that inspiring speech, and the bamboo story we will remember forever, for sure. But the last 2 years has been really tremendous. Your initiatives are really appreciated. You are always 2 steps ahead when we are passing the first step. This is what I always have been thinking of you. You have kept the standards high, and we always will strive to keep the integrity and the professional standards high among us and among all the Sri Lankan chartered accountants. And also, I should not forget the members, the executive committee members who have left this year. Amazing job that they have done, and special thanks to Murshid, Pasindu, and Virajini, and thank you so much that you have done an amazing, tremendous job to the chapter, and obviously will be missed. And keep in touch with us. Of course, your inputs are really needed at all times. And I'm immensely optimistic about the future of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. And finally, I would like to say that we need the support of the members, as you have always been providing, and your support is immensely needed. And I assure with the new team that we will march forward, we will succeed forward, and thank you so much for entrusting me again. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Riaz, for that great speech. And next we'll be hearing from our chief guest, Mr. Heshana Kuruppu. Now, Mr. Heshana is the 27th President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka for the term of 2024-2025. And he has served as a council member of Sri Lanka since year 2012. He is also the incumbent president of South Asian Federation of Accountants, which is known as SAFA, which represents over 475,000 accounting professionals in South Asia. Mr. Heshana is a fellow member of Sri Lanka and holds a BSc Accountancy Special First Class from University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, an MBA from Postgraduate Institute of Management, and Masters in Financial Economics from the University of Colombo. Mr. Heshana commands over 24 years of experience, having kicked off his professional career at KPMG before swiftly ascending to the role of Group CFO at First Capital Group. He then served almost a decade at Trishell Fabrics Private Limited, which is part of MAS Group, eventually becoming the general manager of that company. Currently, as the Group Financial Director of David Pierce Group, his influence extends across various subsidiaries. He represents automotive, finance, IT, and electronics as a member of the board. So I'd like to invite the President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Mr. Heshana Kuruppu. Sir, over to you.
Newly elected and inducted CA Sri Lanka Kuwait Chapter President Riaz Chamaldeen, Vice President Nandana Kalubovila, and EXCO committee members, outgoing President Dimuthu, and EXCO of the last 2 years, Chairman of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India Chapter, Mr. Gonsalves, and Vice Chairman Aditya, members of the Kuwait chapter, past EXCO members, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm delighted and honored to be here as the president of CA Sri Lanka and to witness this magnificent event. And actually, I was not expecting this kind of event when I accepted the invitation, but I'm truly honored and surprised to see the activities that you have carried out over last 2 years. I think the outgoing committee deserve another round of applause. And I want to commend you, Dimuthu, and your EXCO team for those new initiatives and innovative ideas that you have come up with. And I just glanced through the new magazine hub, and I can understand the pain that you have gone through because back at home I have been committee chair for Abacus magazine, and I know the difficulties you have to go through when you run a magazine. And in addition, many activities to engage members over last 2 years, I think, are remarkable. And I would like to congratulate new chapter president, Mr. Riaz, and the Vice President Nandana and EXCO team. I'm sure, as Ambassador mentioned and as Dimuthu highlighted, the new team is capable of elevating the brand CA Sri Lanka, and not only CA Sri Lanka, CA brand for right reasons. And from CA Sri Lanka side, we are there to support you. The dedication and hard work shown by CA Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter has not gone unnoticed. I am confident that you will continue to elevate and carry out these activities in future years. I think I have a point to make with regard to speech made by Dimuthu on the bamboo tree. There is one specific feature of a bamboo tree that we have observed, and we know that the endurance, even when there is tough storms, the bamboo tree knows how to survive. And I can apply the same to these members here. Irrespective of the condition, you have shown that endurance, adaptability, and more importantly, humble set of chartered accountants that I see here in this audience. Thank you very much for continuing your good work, and I appreciate it on behalf of CS Sri Lanka. And I'm sure when I saw on the screen and when I went through the your AGM report, the positions that many of you hold, it shows that our talent is not second to anyone. And when I spoke to many of you, what I realized is they have been here for at least 10 years or more. And I would like to thank the Kuwait government, corporates, and other institutions here for giving this opportunity to Sri Lankans and recognizing them here, because why they consider this as lifetime employment, because they have been recognized and opportunities given. So I thank Kuwait government and organizations here for giving that opportunity to our members. As Ambassador highlighted, I'm not going to go into the same points, but just want to give few facts relating to Sri Lanka, because many of you asked me how we are doing back at home after kind of crisis that we went through. Yes, the negative trend has reversed. Last quarter, we reported 4% growth, and previous quarter, it was around 1.5% growth year on year. So those are good trends that we see, and the current year, the predictions are a growth rate of 1.5 to 3%. While we observe the growth, there is still a negative point, that is inflation has come down. I think as Ambassador has mentioned, it's around 5%. But we still see high cost of living. Compared to pre-2022 crisis period, still our cost of living is high, though inflation has come down. On top of that, due to tax hikes, people have found it difficult and disposable income is low. If you take it in comparative terms, per capita income back in 2018 and 17, we had the highest ever per capita income, which was around $4,400. By 2023 end, the per capita income reached to $3,400. So there is almost $1,000 drop. One reason was rupee depreciation, because when you divide it by higher rupee value, obviously denominator is high and your numerator is rupee, so it comes down. But that is reflected in the consumer pattern as well, because $1,000 per capita coming down reflects in disposable income, and we see that in the market. And I'm coming from mercantile sector, and still demand has not picked up. How long it will take to reach that 2008 is the question at this moment, because for that to happen, our growth rate needs to be much faster. I don't think 2 to 3% is sufficient enough. Having said that, the positive news is, I think, as Sri Lankans, we have to be positive and hopeful. We are moving with a positive trend, and we are hopeful that our citizens will have this same living standards they enjoyed pre-crisis period with some of these measures taken. And as you are aware, second tranche of IMF facility, I think there was staff level agreement reached last week, and there will be $337 million fund facility available. And I think there's another good news that we heard today. I don't think it's official yet, but some news site lines carried it. Sri Lanka has reached to some level of conclusion with our foreign donor agencies, lenders, India and Paris Club. And with 6 years moratorium and lower interest rate, I'm sure it will help further enhancing our reserves, because loan repayments can be extended for another 6 years. Last year, actually, CS Sri Lanka had a crucial role to play when we had our debt restructuring discussions, because last year we completed domestic debt restructuring. You might remember our bond rates went up to around 20 to 30%. During that period, Central Bank as well as Ministry of Finance reached us and requested our idea of valuing these, because after restructuring, obviously the risk premium has to be removed, because there was no any open market trades available for after restructuring valuation to be considered, because you need to recognize that in accounts. It was a new thing. We tried to reach many organizations outside, sought IFAC support, but we couldn't find a solution. So we actually formed a subcommittee within CS Sri Lanka, and we managed to give a solution, because without that solution, central bank couldn't continue with the debt restructuring. And we had to work actually a few late nights even, because the solution was requested within few weeks. And we are happy that we managed to contribute towards that national duty as an organization, and contributed and helpful in moving out from the crisis during that period. So we believe we played the role that we were supposed to play. And with restructuring of foreign debts, I'm sure, I think Ambassador also mentioned it, you can take this message, risk premiums charged by lenders will take off, because our debt rating will go up, because currently there's a risk premium attached due to our preemptive default status. So once that is removed, I think there will be lenders opening up for Sri Lanka. Same way, our stock market also, we will see foreign investors coming and making investments. So I think this is the right time if someone is interested making their investments. And if you look at even banking sector, it's trading at almost 50 to 60% of price to book value, and well-run banks are trading at lower values. So there are opportunities for if someone is considering, because within next few months, I'm sure stock market will pick up. So now I would like to move towards CS Sri Lanka and what we are focusing. And as I mentioned at the induction of presidency in January, we are having a vision under the theme front, which resembles future ready, seizing opportunities, nurturing change, and building trust. So we have come up with several new initiatives to achieve this vision. One of such is policy advocacy. We have formed a think tank, not only members. We have requested non-members, because during the crisis period, some of you even asked from CS Sri Lanka and us, why didn't we see this crisis coming our way? What did chartered accountants do when tax rates were reduced? Why didn't you raise your voice? You control finance, you manage finance of your corporates. Why didn't you see it happening to your own finance of the country? So we decided that we need to do something about it and play that national role, because when you are entrusted with public trust role, you have to play it. Sometimes when you take positions, that's the issue we had. It may go against party or government in power, but we decided that we need to take policy-related matters forward as a professional institution. So with that aim, we formed this Policy Advocacy and Economic Contribution Committee, and we are at the moment developing our framework on how we work. In addition, actually, we understand there are many regulations coming, especially with regard to the accountants in practice. So we create a separate initiative under professional accountant in practice, and there is quality assurance related work being conducted, because practicing is going to be tough in years to come, and even Sri Lanka Accounting and Auditing Standard Monitoring Board is now coming up with some regulatory framework for the same. Then professional accountant in business, almost 80 to 90% of our chartered accountants are in business. So we have created a separate forum. I think even chapter members can join the same and contribute. This is again to look into some of the continuous professional development activities, create a platform for dialogue, and identify policy matters affecting the business. So those are some of the priorities under professional accountant in business committee. Then we are forming a digital engagement and streaming committee that is to enhance our digital presence and increase brand awareness of CS Sri Lanka. So there are several initiatives lined up, including digital channel creation, which will include some of the segments like featuring business leaders under the theme Insight of a Foresighted Mind, then market vibes to discuss local and foreign market trends, and point of view to identify some of the contemporary topics and discussions. So Digital Assurance and Technology Advancement Committee was formed to identify artificial intelligence and technology-related changes, cybersecurity matters, and take that knowledge to our students and members. So there will be some initiatives and sessions that we will be organizing right throughout next few years. Our commitment to social responsibility, we have recognized that as an important aspect, and we have created new initiative under tax, finance, and sustainability literacy, because we have seen many corporates, even small and medium enterprises, going into financial difficulties because they don't have much idea about financial literacy. So with that aim, to educate public as well as corporates, especially small and medium enterprises, and sustainability is taking center stage. So we have created this new initiative, and the plans being developed, and we will come up with some activities in the months to come. In addition, I think one of the committees closer to you, Chapter Establishment Committee, we have changed the scope of Chapter Establishment Committee. It's going to be chapter engagement and business opportunity. This is where actually chapters can play a role because our professional accountant in practice or audit firms, especially small and medium practitioners, are focusing currently on the country and their market is Sri Lanka. But I am sure with this KPO or BPO industry development and the support of chapters, we can create some foreign exchange revenue generation opportunities for our SMP. So that is the whole purpose of creating this new scope for chapter engagement and business opportunity committee. And for the first time in CS Sri Lanka history, we have appointed overseas member as a chapter committee chairman of this committee. One of your colleague, UAE chapter, Sagara Gamage, is the current chairman. So I'm sure we can work together in this front, and in addition to have better engagement with our overseas members, we can bring back some dollars to country as well as uplift some of the SMPs who are currently competing in local market. CS Sri Lanka, and then sometimes you all also criticize CA for not having digital presence, and our website is kind of a forest. You get lost when you try to do things, and when you try to pay your membership, sometimes you can't do it. It crashes towards the latter part of the year. We understand that and we know the issue. So we have come up with a new solution. There is a project launch under UniX theme, Unifying Excellence. So we have developed a blueprint for a completely revamped digital roadmap. And by April, we will introduce this roadmap and request vendors to come up with their proposals. Within 1.5 years, you will have a UX, UI-enabled new website as well as a mobile app. So that is on the way, and we are hopeful that we can come up with these developments to enhance services offered by CS Sri Lanka. And in addition, we are developing our syllabus. New syllabus for 2025 will be introduced with some of the groundbreaking technology developments that are happening elsewhere will come into our syllabus. And for the first time, we have invited several chapter members to join syllabus curriculum development committee, because we know that only Sri Lankan expertise is not enough, because developments elsewhere is much faster. So we are taking those expert resources and bringing that knowledge, because we require 2025 accountants going to come to the market by 28, 2030. So world will be totally different. So we are envisioning the same with those chapter members. And you are aware we launch sustainability standard S1 and S2 2 weeks back. Top 100 companies, as per the market capitalization, are now mandated to report as per sustainability standard 1 and 2. And there is transition arrangements made. Divisory board and SME, other companies based on their revenue will be mandated towards 2028 and 2030. So finally, I would like to thank all the chapters for their contribution and support extended to CA Sri Lanka, and looking forward to work with all the chapters, including Kuwait chapter. I'm sure we can do many other initiatives during next few years. So you have remembered actually your role, and then we witnessed some of the contributions you have made to Sri Lanka as well. And you have supported motherland during difficult times, and we truly appreciate the same. I am eager to collaborate with all of you, and together let us steadfastly march towards the front. A profession that is future ready, seizing opportunities, nurturing change, and building trust. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful speech. Shall we give a round of applause? Now it's time to recognize our members who had run this great show. In recognizing this, making this recognition, I would like to first call upon Mr. Heshana Kurupu, the President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, and he will be accompanied by the President-elect, Mr. Riaz Jamaldeen, and the outgoing President, Mr. Dimuthu Atugala. First, we will be recognizing the magazine committee, the Hub, which is the very first magazine launched by overseas chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. First, I would like to invite the chairman of the magazine committee, the chief editor, Mr. Samantha Veerasekara. Will be Dimuthu Atugala, who is a committee member of the magazine committee. Mr. Shiraz Mateen. Mr. Ashoka Rupasinghe. Muhammad Murshid. Channima Veerasekara. Mrs. Nilanti Arsumuni. Mrs. Neluja Fernando. And now we will be recognizing the outgoing executive committee for the year 2022-2023. First, it will be Mr. Dimutu Atugala, the president. Vice President, Mr. Riaz Jamaldin. General Secretary, Mrs. Dishani Maldiyawadu. Dishani served in the post of General Secretary up until August 23. General Secretary, Mrs. Sachini Aryavikrama. Treasurer, Mr. Mohammad Murshid. Assistant General Secretary, Tharindu Rajapaksa, myself. Committee member, Mr. Pasindu Karunatilaka. Committee member, Mr. Muhammad Bashir. Unfortunately, we don't have Muhammad Bashir with us due to a family emergency. He had to fly back home. Committee member, Chatura Jayasanga. member, Mrs. Neruja Fernando. Committee member, Mrs. Virajini Jaisinghe. And I believe the outgoing committee deserve a big round of applause. And these three gentlemen here, I'm pretty sure they are tired, but unfortunately, kindly bear with me. We have a few more tokens to be given away. Now we'll be moving on to recognizing our sponsors, without whom we wouldn't have done this show of this case. We'd like to invite Mr. Philip Koshi, General Manager of Almulla Exchange. Almulla is one of our key sponsors for this event. Abdul Karim Al Samdan, partner of Al Bin Al Osami Partners ENY. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Rizky Tasaldin, partner, Grant Thornton, and Al-Khatami Al-Iban and partners. Mr. Shiraz Matin, CFO of Al Melem Tires. Next will be Commercial Bank. I would like to invite a representative from Commercial Bank. Bank of Ceylon. People's Bank. are gold and diamonds. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand of applause. For Sale International General Trading Company. Heavy Engineering Industries and Shipbuilding Company, HASCO. Prime Residencies. Orient Insurance. Like invite the representative to stage. Travel Club. We have Mr. Abdul Hamid with us. Sorry, Mr. Aslam. Good food. Gravity Consulting. Kuwait Indian Exchange Company. Sri Lankan Airlines. We have Mr. Dimitri Dialvis, the country manager. Gum puppies. And I'm really sorry to keep you three gentlemen waiting here on stage for a long time. And it's a final token of appreciation. We are giving away. It's time to recognize our chief guest, Mr. Heshana Kuruppu. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Thank you very much. We have the formal proceedings. We have the formal vote of thanks. I would say we have this particular person who is ready to formally thank all the sponsors, all the participants, and I would like to invite Ms. Neluja Fernando.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have almost come to the end of the 9th Annual General Meeting of the CA Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter. I believe that you all are enjoyed today's meeting since we had an inaugural magazine launch as well as the MOU signing event in collaboration with the Annual General Meeting. Actually, I have a long list of individuals and corporations that I should include in my vote of thanks. However, I know that you all are eagerly waiting for the dinner right now. Therefore, let me quickly wrap up the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the guest of honor and the patron of the chapter, His Excellency Mr. Kandipan Balasubramaniam, the Ambassador of Sri Lanka in Kuwait, for his participation in the event and his encouragement for the success of the event as well as the chapter. On behalf of the Executive Committee of the CA Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Heshana Kuruppu, the chief guest of the event, and the President of the CA Sri Lanka for accepting our invitation and for participating in the event. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presence and your valuable thoughts that you have shared during the meeting. And also, a special thanks to the council members and staff of the Institute for their unwavering support throughout the period. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Sabah Mubarak Al-Jalawi, Board Chairman, Kuwait Accountants and Auditors Association, and representatives of the association for joining with us today and signing the MOU. Then I must thank Mr. Rabin Gonsalves, the chairperson of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Kuwait chapter, and representatives from the other association for collaborating with us, and thank you so much. Next, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all of our sponsors, including magazine and the event, because without your valuable support, we couldn't have made this event a grand success. Therefore, thank you so much, and we look forward to continue your support in future as well. And we should thank Mr. Leo Pereira, Director of Sales at Crown Plaza Hotel, and his staff for arranging the delicious foods and logistic requirement for the event. Behind the scenes, a heartfelt thanks to the outgoing President, Mr. Dimuthu Athugala, and other committee members for their tireless efforts for the development of the chapter during their tenure. Not only that, I must thank to all of our members in the CA Sri Lanka Kuwait chapter for your contribution and commitment during the period. Last but not the least, thank you so much for each and everyone for being here, especially during this Ramadan period, and making this day a wonderful and memorable one. Thank you so much.
With that, we come to the end of the formal proceedings. I believe everyone is eagerly looking for the dinner. We would not keep you waiting so long. Finally, before concluding, I would like to invite all of you to step up forward to take a group photo, and then we'll head for dinner.